Okay, so here is, I guess where I left off. We'll see, we'll go back, because I'm not quite sure, but this is my new Fauxbonichi. And it is a 7C standard. If you can see that. That's the actual notebook. And this is my cover. And I have the pencil case to match. So I started out the journal with some scrapbook paper and some important little notes. And I started this at the end of April. I have 1 week of April in it. My favorite art, craft, supply, journal stuff. And as you can see, it has a few things in it. Like this is this. And I absolutely love this. I now have a fountain pen. And I really like this fountain pen. I also have the Faber-Castell pens and my Signo White. I love this pen. I have Pentel and Derwent aqua brushes. Thanks to Felicia. Whoops, upside down. I absolutely love this glue stick. I have Micron pens. And I got a new pen. It will actually write on washi tape and pictures. So I'm really pleased about that. But these are some of my favorite, my Derwent Inktense pencils. I only have the 12 count. And I love washi tape, post-it notes, scrapbook paper. The next one was What Were You Doing? And at 11 a.m. I was walking out of the door to take my son to work. 5 paces to the left were the rose bushes I planted on Monday. I also planted azaleas. This is a picture of my mom's azaleas, what mine will actually look like. Mr. Rockstar's guitar came in that day. Some washi tape I ordered came in. We were talking about, the next one was like, what have you gotten in lately, like in the mail? And I did this. I didn't receive that many packages on that day, but I did receive a couple of packages. Like the day before, I got Mr. Rockstar's guitar. I got my Bare Minerals orders in 2 days in a row. It was 2 different packages they sent, mail. But what I did was, as you can see on the very bottom, it says handle with care, fragile. I put that one on the bottom because lots of times, and the mailman's frowning, because lots of times when you get in packages, it seems like the ones that are not supposed to be bent and are actually fragile tend to end up on the bottom or messed up or whatever. So, and then the next one was my least favorite spot in the house. My washer and dryer are in the kitchen. I hate that they are in the kitchen. We got our new fridge in. We went and got it Saturday, and it's in my other one. But I drew my least favorite spot with a laundry washi tape, and I am now out of this, and I love that washi tape. So I'm going to have to get some more. I got my bicycle, and that was from a piece of scrapbook paper. I wasn't going to try to attempt to draw it because I had a lot to do that day. I drank some water, and I drank a smoothie for breakfast. We had coffee together. Because when we woke up, it was pouring down rain. And we were supposed to do yard work and get the fridge that day. And thankfully, it cleared up. And we were able to do all that stuff. But that was that day. We did a bunch of yard work. We took down, we had poison oak in our backyard that was attached to some of the trees and the fence and stuff. I got that off of the trees, and we took down all the broken branches. And now we have a pile of wood for my mother-in-law for her fireplace, and we have a pile to burn in the with a bonfire. So we did a lot of work. Sunday, I kind of drew, I don't know, what our house would look like if we add on to it like we want to, because we would like to put a garage and a room above the garage and make use of our attic, so it's, you know, actual space instead of just kind of there and for storage. I talked about, because Saturday my Fauxbonichi journal cover came in, and the pencil case, and I talked about it a little bit, talked about my routine. I rode my bicycle. What is one of your favorite things to do for yourself? And that's manicures. I enjoy getting manicures. These are my nails with gel over them. I don't like how they shaped them this time. They're a little too square for me, but Mondays we're getting towards the end of April, and I talked about what the weather was like. It was absolutely gorgeous, but at the beginning part of the day it was slightly gray and rainy early in the morning. Then it cleared up and it was beautiful. I used the quote, "May your coffee be strong and your Monday be short." My writing fiction course started on the 27th. I had 2 breakfasts. I had coffee and a smoothie. And then later I had a croissant and some fruit. I'm trying to eat healthier. I did some more of work with the roses. And then I drew my bicycle, because like I said, I went for a bicycle ride. Trying to go every other day for a mile. On Tuesday, I had 2 days left to Camp NaNoWriMo left, and like it says, why aren't you writing? You should be writing. And I had a couple of days where I wasn't really writing much. This picture, I'm not sure if you can see it. It was cloudy outside, but that's where I had started, where we weren't finished with it. We still have work to do on the rose bed, and that big white thing you see is our old fridge. I had Happy Mail came in, my Derwent water brushes came in, Gesso came in, and the Writer's Compass came in. A really good book, by the way, if you're interested in writing books. I wrote a lot in my Writer's Bible. It's a Janelli fish. There's the Writer's Compass. I drew it. I thought it was pretty cool. I drew the flowers and I wrote, and I used, mostly what that day was about was writing and yard work. I did a ton of yard work, cleaning up stuff, and I watered the flowers, and I did a lot of writing because it was towards the end of Camp NaNoWriMo. On Wednesday, I won Camp NaNoWriMo. But one of the prompts was, what were you doing at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? And I was in my car I was getting in my car and starting my car at 3 o'clock to go pick up my son. And then me and my son went to Arby's and had an early dinner. We went by Michael's and I picked up a few things. And then we went to Starbucks and I came back home at 7:15 or thereabouts. That is when I won Camp NaNoWriMo. Mr. Rockstar called and he was upset because they made him shave his goatee. At one of the places he had to go to, like, you have to wear respirators, and one of OSHA's rules for certain places that you can't, have facial hair. I got these really cute stamps, and let's see. So I celebrated after I won Camp NaNoWriMo and sat in the recliner and watched television and art journaled, because I had almost a whole week's worth, or actually a little bit over a week's worth of art journaling to do on my Hobonichi, and a few pages to do in the Fauxbonichi. So I sat back, got a glass of wine, celebrated my win for Camp NaNoWriMo, and watched television and art journaled. So that was my day, and that quote says, "There are no shortcuts to any place worth going." Thursdays was the last day of April, and I got to pick up Mr. Victor, my grandson, from daycare that day, and the day's prompt was what made you smile today, and he made me smile. I put on there, my husband, my grandson, my children, our parents, our friends and family make me smile all the time. I am very blessed and grateful for all of them. I included a little picture of my daughter and a cartoon of Mr. Rockstar. I really liked, I saw that on something, I think the Presents. I get their things on Facebook, and the lady drew, I did it a little bit different, but it was a quote and a prompt. She had a little picture, and I kind of made it my own. Coffee makes me smile. My roses make me smile. Getting all this yard work and making our yard look so much better makes me smile. Mr. Victor always makes me smile. My grandson is just gorgeous. And I put some quotes today on there. It says, sometimes you will never know the value of a moment till it becomes a memory. Keep smiling because life is a beautiful thing and there is so much to smile about. Marilyn Monroe. It's another new day and I am thankful for family that is priceless, for friends who enrich my life, and for health that is the best kind of wealth. The Journey Home. That was from that quote from. And I right on here, Mr. Victor loves Mickey Mouse. He sat on my lap. We stopped by the gas station for me to put gas in my car. And when I took him in there, of course, he saw all this candy, and he's really wanting candy. But I was a good Mimi, and I only got him chocolate milk. And then we went home, and I made him his very own small pancake for dinner. He actually ate all of it. I was very impressed, because sometimes he's a picky eater, which is how most babies are. So now we are to the very first day of May. And the prompt for the first day of May was, tell us about yourself. So I put a few things about me, some of the things I like my favorite drink, coffee, is the white chocolate mocha, and I usually get it in the venti size from Starbucks. Dr. Pepper, Duplin's Hatteras red wine. I really like that new carbon ink platinum fountain pen. I used the quote, happiness is not something ready-made, it comes from our own actions. I like washi tape. I really do, but coffee is my big thing. I'm a coffee addict. And I put the quote, be who you are and say how you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter won't mind. And then I did a little bit of question and answers on the tip-in, like what my favorite colors are, purple and red and black. My favorite book of all time, The Gunslinger by Stephen King. One of my favorite bands is U2. Some of my favorite TV shows, Haven, Supernatural, Sleepy Hollow, which I have just now gotten into thanks to Hulu Plus. Favorite place, Colonial Lake in Charleston, South Carolina. My best friend, Mr. Rockstar, and my daughter. My favorite vehicle is our classic Camaros from the late 60s, or my car, which is a convertible Firebird. It's a 2000. Favorite alcoholic drink, an apple martini or a white Russian. Where would you like to visit? Scotland. One or two things on your wish list, a Canon Rebel and an iMac. What project are you currently working on? I am working on the kitchen and the yard. And then this talks about why I Hobonichi, and the basics of that would be I have been journaling pretty much since I was 8 years old. And I love journaling. Well, I used to be really into art a long time ago, and I love the Hobonichi because it puts me back in touch with art, and it puts me like right there, and it helps relax me and lower my stress level, reduces my anxiety and depression, and helps me focus. So I think it's a really good thing altogether. Now, May 2nd was one of the questions was, what's your favorite song of all time? And I put any song that Mr. Rockstar sings, and I put a picture of him from, they did a benefit when he was in his band, and that's what that's from. And then I put some other things. This is, what are you good at? And I put a few things like being a spouse, being a friend, a grandparent, shopping, spending, cooking according to my husband and my children and my friends, do-it-yourself projects, making and drinking coffee, writer, artist, photography, that kind of thing. Just a little bit, and then there's a big quote in the middle. And this was yesterday's prompt, what I'm looking forward to. And over here I have watching Sleepy Hollow with Mr. Rockstar. I really liked that scrapbook paper, and I really liked it. I drew our house because I painted the shutters. I need to put one more coat on it because right now it looks a little too pink, and it needs to be more red. It was supposed to be dark rose red. We finished Yesterday we finished the rose bed. Now it's complete. Yesterday morning Mr. Rockstar made coffee and breakfast. Oh my god, it was so good. Like I said, I painted. I finished this. What I'm looking forward to, summer, vacation, finishing my novel, my daughter's graduation this Friday, my cousin's wedding in October, losing another pant size. I've already lost one whole size since the surgery, and my grandson's 3rd birthday in July. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And like I did the picture of the house where I painted the shutters, and this like says, "Dear pen pal, hello, how are you?" And you know, just a little tiny note for like, you know. And then that had to do with the prompts. And then this is where I've started today's. Okay, and that's it for the Fauxbonichi. And then this is going to be much longer than I anticipated. So with the Hobonichi, we're going to go back to here, I believe, is where I pretty much stopped, because I did, like, we went on our date to Fast and Furious 7. I drew, like, the popcorn and the Twizzlers and the drinks, and then later we had pizza and Dr. Pepper, and I had to take Tums, because that's just way too much, you know, stuff for me. What's in your fridge was one of the Fauxbonichi prompts, and I put it in my Hobonichi. That day, Mr. Rockstar, I ordered it late at night on the 19th, or very early Monday morning on the 20th is when I ordered his guitar from eBay. And I was just so excited because I had gotten my new laptop like the week before. And so this is his unicorn, and I drew roses because we were planning, and that's of course the unicorn, because it is, the guitar is his unicorn. So I talked about that. This was like pretty much my day. Like I got Happy Mail, I got a pen pal letter, I was writing, I had some dark chocolate, I had a sandwich on a croissant I made, it was really good, and strawberries, and my coffee was oh so good because I had coffee with David that morning. This is, I talked about, it's today's prompt in the Hobonichi was what are or is one of your favorite art craft supply, and I couldn't narrow it down, I just talked about it. I tried the Zentangle, which is usually on Tuesdays, but I'm always like a little behind, so I actually did it on Wednesday. I did like some Instagram stuff and some YouTube stuff and put that up there, and I of course did the Snoopy drawing, and I talked about what I'm not good at and what I am good at. Like I'm not all that good at faces, but I'm trying to learn how, and it's all about practice. That was when my bare minerals came in, and I of course was still writing, and I put that stuff in because I really love that bare minerals. I've gone back to them. Here's the picture of Mr. Rockstar's guitar that came in. I was so excited. I was so happy that it came in because it came in Thursday afternoon. And then Friday we went out to see his friend's band, and Mr. Rockstar sang a few songs with them, and I put the video on YouTube the next day. We were celebrating, you know, just enjoying ourselves because we hadn't gone out in a long time. And that is Mr. Rockstar with his friends. Our new fridge that we got Saturday, I went and paid it off, and that was just a stick-it note where I put it down here because I got the bike and the fridge, and we did the yard work again. I talked to Drew, and I did laundry, and this day was pretty much, that Sunday was pretty much spent inside. It was raining. We watched Netflix. I talked about my journal cover and the pencil case that came in and how much I loved it and how much Mr. Rockstar loved his new guitar. We started watching Daredevil on Netflix. Excuse me. And we really had a good time. We spent the day pretty much doing much of nothing, watching TV and relaxing. He played his guitar for a while and I wrote for a while. I made homemade taco salad. And the day before, when we were doing the yard work, we did hamburgers on the grill with our friends who were helping us do some of the yard stuff. Monday, I did some of the work on the rose bed. I rode my bicycle for a mile. David and I had smoothies that morning and then coffee, trying to be healthier. And of course I put the same quote in here, may your coffee be strong and your Monday be short, because I really like that quote. Mondays are just I watered, I of course had planted the wisteria and drew the bench, but I drew it a little bit different this time. And I talked about how our home, now that I've planted the roses and I had started the rose bed, planted the wisteria, moved the bench out to beside the wisteria in the front yard. And I talked about how our house is really starting to look more like a home. And I talked about the writer's compass and stuff like that. Then the next day, on Friday, skipped a day. Okay, let me go back. On Wednesday, I won Camp NaNoWriMo. I talked about it. I had, you know, some days I need coffee so I can make the coffee kind of thing. This is mostly just what's going on. I really didn't feel like drawing much that day. I had started watching this show, Sleepy Hollow, and I talked about it. I won Camp NaNoWriMo. And then this day I talked about how I picked Mr. Victor up. I drew his chocolate milk. I fixed him his pancake, which I drew a picture of. And this is me. That was what I imagined myself looking like during some of the writing for Camp NaNoWriMo. And on Friday, my tripod, which is what I'm using now, came in. And I'm really happy with this tripod. I can actually do the flip-throughs with this. I bought a new pair of jeans for $12.98 a pair of Levi's from Belk's, and I have dropped a whole size. So I was really excited. I had spinach garlic pizza for dinner and a glass of wine. I went and paid bills that day. That was my errand day. And I tell you, when I went out, I started and I paid all the bills before I even drank coffee. So I stopped after I paid the bills and got myself some coffee. And when I got home, my fountain pen and the tripod and stuff were in. They had come. And then Saturday, of course, like I said, I had painted the shutters, I drew the house, and I drew the azaleas where I planted the azaleas, and the water hose. Mr. Rockstar and I started watching Constantine, and we watched episodes 1 through 3 of season 1. We had some wine. We watched the movie Frailty with Bill Paxton and Matthew McConaughey. And on Sunday, we had smoothies and then coffee, and like I said, he had made breakfast, and I was pretty much in my pajamas and my bathrobe for 3/4 of the day. Later that afternoon, my friend came and helped me, and we went to Lowe's, and I picked up the rest of the last part, the cedar log, to finish the rose bed with, and we finished it with. And I also got some hanging plants for in the kitchen. And before I came back, I picked up a coffee for me and for Mr. Rockstar as kind of a dessert, just a treat. And then I listed my monthly goals for May. Janelli Fish is doing this, I guess. So I listed my monthly goals. And then this is today's, which I haven't started working on at all yet, in my Hobonichi. So